Good morning, everyone. Today I want to talk about something that can change your life if you let it, the power of self-discipline. We all want to win. We all want victory over our struggles, whether it's in our relationships, our finances, our health, or our personal battles. But here's the truth. Winning isn't automatic. Winning requires a choice. You see, every breakthrough, every success story starts with self-control. You can't conquer the world if you can't first conquer yourself. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. But let's be honest, self-control isn't always easy. How many times have we said, I'll start tomorrow? How many times have we let our feelings, our fears, or our frustrations make decisions for us? But here's the thing. Your emotions don't have to be the boss of you. If you only do what feels good in the moment, you'll never reach your full potential. Growth requires doing the right thing even when it's hard. The good news, every small act of discipline moves you closer to your victory. So today I want to challenge you, face this choice. Will you let your emotions, bad habits, and excuses control you? Or will you take charge and start moving toward your victory? Winning requires self-discipline. But here's the best part. Once you master yourself, there's nothing that can stop you. Make the choice, take control, and step into the victory that's already waiting for you. Thank you. Victory begins with discipline. It doesn't happen overnight, and it certainly doesn't happen by accident. Winning in life, whether it's in your relationships, your career, your health, or your spiritual walk, requires intentional effort. And that effort is fueled by discipline. Many people want to succeed, but they don't want to do what success requires. They want to wake up one day and suddenly have everything they've dreamed of: good habits, strong faith, financial stability, a healthy body, a peaceful mind, but they don't want to go through the process that makes those things possible. But here's the truth. There is no lasting victory without discipline. You see, discipline isn't about punishment. It's about preparation. It's about training yourself so that when the time comes, you are strong enough to win the battle. Think about an athlete. No one wins a gold medal by accident. No one just wakes up one day and says, I think I'll run a marathon today, and crosses the finish line without ever training. No, they show up every day. They push through the days when they don't feel like it. They discipline their body, their mind, and their emotions so that when the moment of testing comes, they are ready. Life is no different. The people who succeed in life aren't the ones who have it the easiest. They aren't the ones who got lucky. They are the ones who chose to be disciplined. They made up their minds that no matter how hard it got, they wouldn't quit. They wouldn't let their emotions control them. They wouldn't allow distractions to pull them away from their purpose. They committed to showing up, doing the work, and pushing through. But let's be real, discipline isn't always fun. It doesn't always feel good in the moment. Sometimes it means waking up earlier than you want to. Sometimes it means saying no to things that seem good but aren't great. Sometimes it means doing the right thing even when no one is watching. Sometimes it means sticking to your commitments even when your emotions tell you otherwise. But here's the key. Discipline isn't about how you feel in the moment. It's about where you want to be in the future. If you make decisions based on your emotions, you will always be inconsistent. Some days you'll feel motivated. Some days you won't. Some days you'll have energy. Some days you won't. If you let your emotions dictate your choices, you'll live a life of ups and downs, always reacting, never really moving forward. But if you commit to discipline, if you decide that no matter how you feel, you're going to do what needs to be done, you will see results. Think about this. A person who commits to discipline in their finances may have to make some tough choices. They may have to say no to impulse spending. They may have to delay gratification. They may have to budget and be intentional. But over time, those small disciplined choices add up. One day they look back and realize they are financially free while others are still struggling. A person who disciplines their mind and chooses to fill it with wisdom, truth, and encouragement instead of negativity and fear will experience peace that others don't. The world may be in chaos, but they are grounded. Why? Because they train their mind to focus on what builds them up rather than what tears them down. Discipline in relationships means being intentional. It means choosing to love even when it's hard. It means showing up, being present, and putting in the work to build strong, healthy connections instead of expecting them to happen automatically. Discipline in health means making small choices every day: what you eat, how you move, how you take care of yourself. Those choices don't always feel significant in the moment, but over time they shape the direction of your life. The truth is, discipline is the foundation for any lasting success. It's what separates those who achieve their goals from those who only dream about them. It's what determines whether you stay stuck or move forward. So today I challenge you: what areas of your life need more discipline? What habits have you let slide? Where have you been waiting for motivation instead of making a commitment? Because here's the thing: if you wait until you feel like it, you'll never start. But if you decide today that you are going to take control, that you are going to train yourself for victory, that you are going to be disciplined even when it's hard, then nothing can stop you. Victory begins with discipline. And the good news, you don't have to be perfect to start. You just have to be willing. So take that step, make the choice, and watch how your life begins to change. Your mind is the battlefield where victory or defeat is determined. The way you think shapes everything about your life: your choices, your actions, your habits, and ultimately your future. If you can master your mind, you can master your life. But if you allow your thoughts to run wild, filled with negativity, doubt, fear, or discouragement, then no amount of effort will bring you lasting success. So many people live in cycles of frustration because they haven't learned how to control their thoughts. They try to change their circumstances, but their mindset remains the same. They want to succeed, but deep down, they don't believe they can. They want to grow, but they keep thinking the same old defeated thoughts. And what happens? They stay stuck. Because here's the truth: your life will always move in the direction of your strongest thoughts. If you believe you can't do something, you won't even try. If you believe you're not good enough, you'll never take risks. If you constantly think about your failures, you'll struggle to move forward. But the opposite is also true. If you train your mind to focus on what is possible, on what is good, on what is true, then you will begin to see opportunities instead of obstacles. You will have the strength to persevere even when things get tough. But let's be real, controlling your thoughts is not always easy. Our minds are constantly bombarded with negativity from the world around us. We hear messages that tell us we're not enough, that we'll never change, that things will never get better. And if we're not careful, we start to believe those lies. That's why we have to be intentional about what we allow into our minds. You wouldn't let garbage pile up in your house, right? If you saw trash sitting in your living room, you'd throw it out immediately because you know it doesn't belong there. But how many of us allow garbage to pile up in our minds? We hold on to thoughts of fear, bitterness, insecurity, and doubt. We replay past failures. We dwell on what people have said about us. And then we wonder why we don't have peace, why we don't feel confident, why we can't move forward. If you want to master your life, you have to start by mastering your mind. That means being intentional about what you allow yourself to think about. It means replacing lies with truth. It means catching yourself when negative thoughts creep in and choosing to redirect them. It means feeding your mind with things that build you up instead of things that tear you down. Think about it like this. Imagine two dogs inside of you. One represents fear, doubt, and negativity. The other represents faith, confidence, and strength. Which one wins? The one you feed the most. If you constantly dwell on what's wrong, on what you lack, on what might go wrong, then that negativity will grow stronger in your life. But if you choose to focus on hope, on possibilities, on progress, then you will begin to see transformation in every area of your life. Your emotions follow your thoughts. If you constantly think anxious thoughts, you will feel anxious. If you constantly think about how unfair life is, you will feel bitter. But if you train your mind to focus on gratitude, on solutions, on hope, then your emotions will begin to shift as well. Mastering your mind is a daily process. It's not something you do once and forget about. Just like you don't go to the gym one time and expect to be fit for life, you don't take control of your thoughts one day and expect your mindset to stay strong forever. You have to make it a habit. You have to wake up every day and choose to guard your thoughts, to redirect negativity, to replace lies with truth. The good news? You are not powerless. You are not a victim of your thoughts. You have the ability to choose what you focus on. And when you take control of your mind, everything else in your life begins to change. So let me ask you, what thoughts have been controlling you? What patterns have you been stuck in? What beliefs have been holding you back? It's time to break free. It's time to stop letting negativity, doubt, and fear dictate your life. You have the power to change the way you think, and when you do, you will change the way you live. Master your mind and you will master your life. It won't always be easy, but it will always be worth it. Start today. Choose thoughts that build you up. Focus on what is good, what is true, what is possible. And watch how your life begins to transform. Emotions are powerful. They can lift you up or tear you down. They can push you towards success or drag you into failure. But here's something you need to understand: you are in charge of your emotions, not the other way around. Just because you feel something doesn't mean you have to act on it. Just because an emotion is strong doesn't mean it should dictate your choices. You have the ability to rise above your feelings and do what is right, even when it's hard. Many people live their lives as prisoners to their emotions. They wake up feeling sad, so they assume it's a bad day. They get frustrated, so they lash out at the people around them. They feel tired, so they quit. Their emotions control them like a puppet on strings, pulling them in every direction. But let me tell you something: you don't have to live that way. You don't have to let temporary feelings dictate your long-term future. Think about this. Have you ever made a decision in a moment of anger only to regret it later? Have you ever walked away from something important because fear told you it was too hard? Have you ever let discouragement stop you from moving forward? Emotions are real, but they are also unreliable. They shift, they change, and they don't always tell the truth. The problem isn't that we have emotions. Emotions are natural. The problem is when we let them control us. Some people think that because they feel something strongly, it must be true. But that's not always the case. Just because you feel like a failure doesn't mean you are one. Just because you feel unworthy doesn't mean you have no value. Just because you feel like quitting doesn't mean you should. Feelings are not facts. So what do you do when your emotions start pulling you in the wrong direction? You take charge. You recognize that feelings come and go, but your choices shape your life. You learn to pause. Take a deep breath. And ask yourself, is this feeling leading me toward the life I want, or is it pushing me away from it? Let's be real, there will be days when you don't feel like doing the right thing. You won't feel like being kind. You won't feel like showing up. You won't feel like taking care of yourself. But discipline means choosing what's best, not just what feels good in the moment. Maturity is learning to do what's right, even when you don't feel like it. Think about a parent raising a child. A child doesn't always feel like eating vegetables, but a good parent knows that vegetables are necessary for growth. A child may not feel like going to school, but education is important for their future. The parent's job isn't to let the child do whatever they feel like. Their job is to guide them toward what's best. In the same way, you have to guide yourself. You have to lead your emotions instead of letting them lead you. That means when anger rises up, you take a step back before speaking. When fear tries to paralyze you, you remind yourself that courage isn't the absence of fear, but the decision to move forward anyway. When sadness comes, you acknowledge it. But you don't let it define your day. One of the biggest traps people fall into is thinking that if they don't feel like doing something, they shouldn't do it. But that's not how success works. If you only worked hard on the days you felt motivated, you wouldn't accomplish much. If you only treated people kindly when you felt like it, your relationships would suffer. If you only pursued your dreams when it was easy, you'd never reach your full potential. The truth is, feelings follow actions. Have you ever noticed that when you start taking positive steps, your emotions eventually catch up? Maybe you didn't feel like exercising, but once you started moving, you felt better. Maybe you didn't feel like being grateful, but once you listed a few things you were thankful for, your attitude shifted. Maybe you didn't feel like forgiving, but once you made the decision, you felt a sense of relief. You can't always control what you feel, but you can control how you respond. And when you start making decisions based on wisdom instead of emotions, your life will change. You'll be more stable. You'll be more effective. You'll experience real peace because you're no longer being tossed around by every passing feeling. So today I challenge you, don't let your emotions run your life. Take charge. Choose what is right, not just what is easy. Refuse to let temporary feelings make permanent decisions. The more you practice emotional discipline, the stronger you will become. And when you master your emotions, you'll find that nothing can shake you. Success isn't built in a day, it's built in the small daily choices you make. Every great achievement, every strong relationship, every moment of personal growth is the result of consistent discipline over time. The problem is most people want instant results. They want to see massive change overnight. They want to take one big leap and land in success. But that's not how life works. True victory comes from the little decisions you make every single day. Think about a person who wants to be physically fit. They can't work out one time and expect to be in perfect shape. They have to choose day after day to show up. Even when they don't see results immediately, even when they feel tired, even when progress seems slow, they have to keep going. And eventually, all those small, disciplined choices add up. They start seeing strength where there used to be weakness. They start feeling energy where there used to be exhaustion. What seemed impossible at first becomes second nature. The same is true in every area of life. If you want a successful career, it's not about one big opportunity. It's about showing up every day, doing your best, and staying consistent. If you want strong relationships, it's not about one grand gesture. It's about the daily choice to communicate, to be present, and to invest in the people you love. If you want a peaceful mind, it's not about one moment of inspiration. It's about choosing every day what thoughts you will allow to take root. The reason many people never reach their full potential is because they underestimate the power of small decisions. They think skipping one workout won't make a difference. One unhealthy meal won't matter. One day of procrastination won't hurt. And in the moment, it doesn't seem like a big deal. But over time, those small, undisciplined choices create habits. And those habits create results, good or bad. But here's the good news: just as bad habits are formed by small negative choices, good habits are formed by small positive ones. The little things you do each day, choosing patience instead of anger, gratitude instead of complaining, discipline instead of excuses, those things add up. They shape who you are becoming. Some people never start because they feel overwhelmed. They think change requires drastic action. But you don't have to fix everything at once. You just have to start. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be consistent. Progress isn't about doing everything right all the time. It's about doing the right thing more often than not. Imagine a plane flying across the country. If the pilot adjusts the course by just a few degrees, it may not seem like much in the moment. But over time, that small change will completely alter the destination. The same is true in your life. Small adjustments made consistently can lead to an entirely different future. The problem is that many people quit too soon. They start strong, but when they don't see immediate results, they give up. They say, it's not working. But what if they had just kept going a little longer? What if the breakthrough was just around the corner? Growth takes time. Progress isn't always visible right away. But if you stay disciplined, you will see results. Think about planting a seed. When you put it in the ground, nothing happens right away. You water it, you nurture it, and for a while it looks like nothing is changing. But underground, something is happening. Roots are forming. The foundation is being laid. And one day that tiny seed breaks through the surface and grows into something strong. Your efforts are not wasted. The small, disciplined choices you make are shaping your future, even if you don't see the results yet. The key is to keep going, keep showing up, keep making the right choices, even when it's hard, even when it's inconvenient, even when no one else sees, because those small acts of discipline lead to big victories. So don't despise small beginnings. Don't get discouraged when progress feels slow. Just focus on making the right choices one day at a time. If you stay disciplined, if you stay committed, you will look back one day and realize that all those small steps added up to something incredible. Victory isn't in one big moment. It's in the daily choices you make. Keep going. Keep growing. Because every step of discipline is leading you toward the life you were meant to live.